What if I told you that right now, someone you trust might be using psychological tactics against you or someone you love, and you'd have no idea it was happening? These aren't obvious scams or blatant manipulation. These are subtle, calculated moves designed specifically to work on older adults, and the people using them often look like helpers, caregivers, family members, or friendly strangers. Today, we're going to expose 7 dark psychology tricks that toxic people use on seniors. And more importantly, I'm going to give you the exact tools to shut every single one of them down. Before we get into this, I want you to understand something. This isn't about age being a weakness. Seniors are actually targeted precisely because they tend to have more trust, more resources, and more life experience, which paradoxically makes certain psychological traps more effective when deployed by someone who knows what they're doing. So let's pull back the curtain. Trick number 1 is called love bombing, and it is devastatingly effective. Love bombing happens when someone showers you with excessive affection, attention, gifts, and compliments right from the start of a relationship. They call constantly. They show up with flowers. They tell you you're the most special person they've ever met, all within the first few weeks. Here's why this works so well on seniors specifically. Many older adults experience genuine loneliness, and when someone suddenly fills that void with overwhelming warmth, the brain releases oxytocin, which is basically the bonding chemical. Your emotional guard drops because everything feels so good. The manipulation comes later, once they've established that emotional dependency. The shutdown strategy is simple, but requires discipline. Deliberately slow down any relationship that feels too intense too fast. Ask yourself, what does this person actually want from me? Real love and real friendship build gradually. Pressure and intensity early on are warning signs, not romance. Trick number 2 is manufactured urgency. Toxic people are masters at creating artificial deadlines that force you to make decisions without thinking clearly. You'll hear things like, this deal expires tonight. The doctor needs your answer right now. If you don't decide by tomorrow, someone else will take your spot. The psychology behind this is ruthless. When we feel time pressure, the prefrontal cortex, which is the rational decision-making part of your brain, essentially goes offline. We shift into reactive mode. Scammers, manipulative family members, and predatory salespeople all exploit this. The shutdown is to recognize that any legitimate opportunity can withstand a 24-hour pause. Tell them you need time to think, then actually take that time and consult someone you trust outside of the situation.
There is no reason
Trick number
to
3
doubt
might
what
be
is
the
right
most
in front of
insidious
you.
one on this list. It's called gaslighting. Gaslighting is when someone makes you question your own memory, perception, and sanity. They say things like, that never happened. You're remembering it wrong. You've been so forgetful lately. Everyone's noticed. For seniors, this is especially cruel because there's already a cultural narrative around age-related memory decline, and toxic people weaponize that narrative to control you. If someone frequently makes you feel confused about your own experiences, trust that feeling of confusion as a signal, not as evidence that you're losing your mind. Start keeping a private journal. Write down conversations and events as they happen. That written record becomes your anchor to reality and your defense against anyone trying to rewrite it. Trick number 4 is isolation engineering. This is a slow, patient process where a toxic person gradually separates you from your support network. They'll say things like, your daughter doesn't really understand you, like I do. Your friends have been talking about you behind your back. I'm the only one who truly cares about you. Over months, they chip away at your existing relationships while positioning themselves as your only true ally. Once you're isolated, you become entirely dependent on their version of reality. The shutdown here requires vigilance. Make it a personal rule to maintain regular contact with at least 3 people completely outside of any single relationship. If someone in your life consistently discourages those connections, that is your loudest possible warning signal. Halfway through, and here's something I want you to really internalize. These tricks work not because the victims are weak or naive. They work because these tactics are designed by people who understand human psychology deeply and exploit it deliberately. Knowing the tricks is your power. Trick number 5 is guilt inversion. This is where the manipulator flips responsibility so that you end up apologizing for being victimized. You'll catch yourself saying sorry constantly. You'll feel like you're always the one who caused problems, always the one who misunderstood, always the one who needs to make amends. Toxic family members use this particularly well, leveraging guilt around things like sacrifices they've made for you or obligations they claim you owe them. The shutdown requires you to pause every time you feel sudden guilt and ask yourself, what specifically did I actually do wrong here? If you can't name a concrete action you took that caused harm, that guilt was manufactured and placed on you by someone else. Trick number 6 is false authority. Manipulative people often present themselves as experts, whether they're claiming medical knowledge, legal expertise, or financial wisdom they don't actually have. They speak with absolute confidence. They use jargon. They reference credentials that may be exaggerated or entirely fabricated. The psychology here exploits our natural tendency to defer to authority figures, which becomes stronger when we're uncertain or anxious. The shutdown is a single powerful habit. Never make a significant decision based solely on the word of one person presenting themselves as an authority. Always verify independently. A real doctor, lawyer, or financial advisor will welcome a second opinion. Someone running a manipulation will resist it. Trick number 7 is intermittent reinforcement. And this one is the reason so many people stay in toxic relationships long after they know they should leave. Intermittent reinforcement means the toxic person alternates unpredictably between being warm and caring and being cold, critical, or cruel. They're wonderful on Tuesday and devastating on Friday, and you never know which version you're getting. Here's the dark psychology behind it. This unpredictable pattern actually creates stronger emotional attachment than consistent kindness would. It's the same mechanism that makes gambling addictive. Your brain keeps chasing the next good moment. The shutdown requires recognizing the full pattern rather than evaluating the relationship based on the most recent good interaction. Write down the full history. Look at the whole picture. If kindness only appears after cruelty, that's not a relationship, that's a cycle. Now here's what I want you to take forward from everything we've just covered. These 7 tricks: love bombing, manufactured urgency, gaslighting, isolation engineering, guilt inversion, false authority, and intermittent reinforcement all share one thing in common. They work best in silence and isolation. The single most powerful defense against all of them is maintaining open, honest communication with people you genuinely trust outside of the situation. If you're watching this for yourself, start building what I call your clarity circle. That's 2 or 3 people in your life, whether family, friends, or a professional, to whom you can say something feels off and trust their honest response. If you're watching this for an older parent, grandparent, or someone you care about, the most valuable thing you can do is show up consistently and make it easy for them to talk to you without judgment. Here's the uncomfortable truth that I'll end with. Awareness is not automatic protection. Knowing these tricks exist doesn't make you immune to them because they target emotions, not intellect. What actually protects you is building strong relational habits before you ever need them, staying connected, staying curious about your own emotional responses, and never being afraid to say, wait, something doesn't feel right here. If this video opened your eyes or gave you language for something you've been experiencing or witnessing, share it with someone who needs to see it. These conversations save people. And if you want to go deeper into protecting yourself and the people you love from psychological manipulation, the next video coming up is going to go even further into the red flags most people completely miss until it's too late. Stay with me because this matters.